Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this episode of OIC in a New Way. My name is Noah Hanson, and on this episode I'm telling you about how writing has the ability to help us heal emotionally, physically, and spiritually. On the last OIC in a New Way series, we talked about mindfulness and how mindfulness plays a role in our body's increasing muscle strength, in our body's immune system and rate of healing, and then how mindfulness plays a role in our inner healing, emotionally and mentally. On this episode, we're still talking about mindfulness, and writing has a large part to do, a large role to play in mindfulness. Every time that you're writing in a self-expressive way, it's a mindful act. You have to think about what you're writing down on this piece of paper. So I'm going to be going over how mindfulness and writing specifically, while being mindful, can do much more than just increase our IQs and our vocabulary, which writing also does. But it also has a long list of health benefits that I'm going to be going over for you now. When you start your mornings off by writing in a journal or a diary, and just writing in general with a pen and paper, it's already getting brain sensors firing. And these brain sensors firing off this early in the morning help us to start our day more productively, help us to keep moving forward and being productive with our day. So if you're writing just anything in general in the morning time, it has its benefits. Now let's talk about how writing can help us sleep at night. If we take for just 15 minutes time out of our schedule to be able to write down what we are grateful for, then that helps us to easily let go of certain things that are stressing us out in our life. When we think about what we're grateful for, we're naturally more inclined to be optimistic. We're not going to wallow in sadness about certain things in our lives that we can't change. Instead, we're going to be thinking about exactly what it is that makes us happy. And that in turn is going to relieve stress right before we go to bed at night. It's no surprise that writing can also help us to communicate. Just a short period of time is all that's necessary to write down our different conversations that we had throughout our days. We don't need to think about every single specific word that was said and sentence that was said, but we do need to think about what we did correctly and how we can improve where we failed. And if we review this information and apply it to our lives later, it can drastically improve our communication skills. Now, directly related to writing down conversations that we had is the improvement in our memories that writing can make. If we write down in a journal or a diary, or even if we're writing an autobiography, then we're writing down different things that already happened in our past, and it's improving our memories. It's working our memory part of our brain to think back on those events and be able to write them down in a way that is comprehensive, that's cohesive, that makes sense. So writing can drastically improve our IQs, our vocabulary skills, our mornings, our nights, our communication skills, and our memories. Now, on top of all of these benefits, writing also has the ability to help us in our physical healing. And it boosts our immune systems, fights off disease. And this is because self-expressive writing allows us to have a more positive outlook on life. Positive emotions are well known to be associated with building up and strengthening immune systems and increasing our body's capability to heal. From what I already presented on this episode of OIC in a New Way, it should be easily understandable how writing, as long as you continuously make it and work towards it being a practice in your life, you're eventually going to find some way that writing can benefit your life. That is why we talk about writing so much on the OIC podcast. So I'm going to put some episodes of the OIC podcast in the description of this video so that you can benefit from how we go in depth into writing on those episodes as well. Thank you for joining me for this episode of OIC in a New Way. You can find much more at inanewway.com, and I'll meet you on the next episode. Until then, stay blessed.